Um, Sorry, I had it echoing in my ear, and it was like great because I could hear what I sounded like, but awful because I could hear what I sounded like. Um, so first of all, could a depressed person make this? I don't think so. I decided to go in. Oh my God, I'm noticing stuff I missed already. Whatever. I made the Date Everything house in The Sims 4. The thing about the Date Everything house, it is no. I want this to be clear. I love this game. It's very clear, however, that they um they built the inside and then did the outside. I don't know. It's just it's a lot. So it was very hard to kind of get it exactly. Some things that that if you've gone outside, first of all, one spoiler for Date Everything. If you've gone outside, if you've gone and got the Glitch City achievement, which I do need to get the dead achievement. I need to get that. I need to die. Um if you've gotten the Glitch City achievement and gone outside, you've noticed it. It's not even a blue suburban at this point. It's something else more heinous and evil. But that's okay. So I've done my best to recreate parts of the outside that I think are integral. Like the trees which look like garbage because it's springtime in Newcrest. And oh, also, I have my character. If you'll give me a second, I'll go down to the first level. Um, and we can see her. Yeah, there she is. Let me put her in her. Why aren't you in uniform? She's gonna freeze to death, but there's her in her fabulous red shirt and her date beaters on. Um, Interesting. Um, I just threw like together like a quick outfit for her to put on while we go through the house. So like I said, there's gonna be some. This is not an exact. This is about as exact as I can make it. I'm a professional. There are a couple things that I feel like are important to note right out the gate. One is this is the best I could do for the windows. The double windows felt right or took up the right amount of space, so I ended up using the a lot of base game in this house. I ended up using the base game Octopane windows, um, and just kind of putting them together like so for the what would be the double wide windows. Um I also this is the best I could do for skinny windows. I hate this the more I look at it, but whatever. I tried to get a lot of stuff like almost exact if I could. You're as we're approaching, you're gonna notice some things. You're like, oh my god, that's that. But this is it. This is the Date Everything house we're gonna go through. Okay. Um, I had to fix some things. Because I messed up. Also, I freaking hate whenever I go to Google something and I'm Googling something for a video game and it's for the website The Gamer and they have to give me it's like looking up a recipe whenever you're like, I want to bake a rose con pollo or I want to make it, and then you get like a recipe of like, my mother was actually the one in the Titanic that didn't let Jack on and that's why I make this. And it's like, I don't care. The Gamer does that and it's like it'll just hype up whatever game you're talking about. It's like, well, The Sims. And I'm like, I know everything about The Sims. I've seen The Sims. I understand. I don't care. Just tell me what buttons to hit so I can get the result I want. Um, but whatever. So this is it. There are some things that are just whack and you're going to make your peace with it. I try to fix the ceiling. This is the best I got. But yeah, this is when you rock in. For a couple things, again, like I said, spoilers. But for a couple things, there is no like exact thing for it, so I had to do my best. And I am doing what my house looks like after talking to Art, Lady Memoria, and Prissy. If you know, then that's why it looks like this. So if you're playing and you're like, I don't understand why does she have plants? Why is that picture there? It's those people. Okay, this is where we're at. This is our entry with the plants and where Ernesto is not, where Hector is not. Hector Ernesto, frick, what was it? Hector Valentino Ernesto Condicionado. This is where he's not at. Um, there, the thermostat is on the left. That's the actual Sims 4 thermostat. Comes with seasons. However, the burglar alarm looks more like what we have in the game. That's a diploma from high school years. Moving along, we're gonna go right into the office. And this is my office. I went as best as I could. I basically went wall by wall in every room of the house. I had it like I my setup is a pink monitor because duh, and I have plugged every console I own into it. So I have my PC, my Switch, and my Xbox. So I was at first switching, but this was at first a speed build, and then it took 7 hours to make. And I was like, there's no way to make that enjoyable. Granted, there was a lot of breaks. I had to go get a Pepsi at one point because I was losing my mind. Um, but it just, I don't think anyone would have enjoyed that. So I figured the tour would be better. If I'm going to make anything out of it, I'm going to make the tour. Um, but I would basically like, I had it like, I have the TV that we use for YouTube, the TV that's just the meme for Rick and Morty. What is my purpose? You put on YouTube while we go to sleep. Oh my God. I have that TV and it's an older Xbox. So I had to do cloud gaming to put data everything on this TV. And then I would sit and I had the controller in my lap. I had the controller in my lap with one hand and then my mouse in my other hand trying to like line up like because I tried to do screenshots, it just didn't upload. I took too many and Xbox was like, ew. I was like, ah. So I do have some of those pictures, but just not enough to where it was actually like viable to use for for like gameplay and stuff. So I was like, whatever, I don't care. So I just did that at one point, and I forced my husband to like, because I was finishing up the attic last night while we were about to go to bed, and he was like, "Are you coming to bed?" I'm like, "Not until I'm done with this." The heck, the only thing I did this morning, as I'm recording this, I fixed up the roof because that was a nightmare. Again, I just could not do how the attic looks in how the attic, by the way, I'm gonna say attic probably like an addict, like I'm addicted to something. I don't mean to, I'm just stupid. Um I have like a speech impediment or something, I don't know. So the attic in game, the interior is the exterior, if that makes sense. Like the same texture, I guess it would be the same like thing is on the outside. They didn't color it differently on the outside, probably because they didn't expect you to be able to see it. So I didn't do that. I didn't like the way it looked. Um, Also, the attic in the game is not really what an attic looks like in real life. Like it says attic, but it's like it's not, isn't it? It's just like a room in your house. It's just on the I don't know. It's just I get why they didn't do it, but whatever. Um, but yeah, this is it. So this is it. I have, some books right here to kind of mimic whatever. The hanging plant, and then we come over here to the bookshelf. I put a couple other things here. There's like a pile of whatever. And then here is Mac and Dasha. There is no um dice like clutter in the game. So what I did was I took the ball of yarn, and because it's so low poly, it's basically a D20. So whatever. This is the computer setup. I didn't really like any of the single monitor setups. I know Mac in the game they are a single monitor setup. However, none of them had their vibe. And also with this pack, I'm pretty sure this is all Comfy Gamer, the little Simsy pack. It let me put the PC underneath the desk, which is how it is in the game, as well as Dasha is actually flipped in the game. The desk is over here, and whatever. Here's some Penelope stuff. That's just clutter. That's clutter from Everyday Clutter, and then that stack of paper is from Strangerville. It's like clutter for like a laboratory trash can. There's no like good circular trash can, so you're just gonna have to make your peace with that. Again, the bookshelf I try to make it a little bit more cluttered, a little taller. Come over here. That is actually a kitchen clutter item. It's called like the clutter carousel. However, I was like I need something for Jerry, and so I was like just typing in like I typed in carousel just to see if maybe we had one in debug or something like that I could shrink down, and I saw that. And even though it's technically kitchen stuff, it's Jerry. Just make your peace with it. There's the box, another box. You're gonna see these cardboard boxes everywhere, and then this is an exact those again. There's the paper clutter, but whatever. Those books in front of me is an exact color match to the books in the game. Pretty proud of that. There's Ramagawena. I know I said that wrong. Do not look at me. Here's your bulletin board, and there is the vent. And the vent was always there. Um, I'm gonna clean this up before I. Huh? Hold on. Oh, because I was. Oh, that was weird. All right. Oh, you can see my little girl through the thing. All right. These are the doors. I tried to even make it to where the door swung the correct way. Here we are in the closet. Again, I got some boxes clutter. So the water heater that we do have is attached to the for rent. I didn't know that. I thought that there was one in City Living, and I really tried to get the one from City Living. Like I looked in Debug, I looked in a bunch of different other places for it. I tried to do like a bunch of stuff, but I just could not find it. Like I just could not access it. I don't know if it's just one of those things where I don't, no matter what debug cheats I use or whatever. If you do know, tell me in the comments and tell me I'm stupid. I'll fix it and re-upload it. I don't care. Or you could fix it yourself. Because technically this could jut out more based on the actual in-game house, but whatever. Um, so instead I put the fire like safety panel, which you're gonna, spoiler alert, it's gonna come upstairs later for you know who. But this is supposed to be Winifred. It kind of, if you close your eyes and squint, it's kind of like whatever. And then this is down there where Von Trapp is. Very basic down there. That's pretty much the only thing that's down there is Von Trapp, just like in game. So we don't need to look down there. But yeah, I even tried to put the light switches in the same spot as they are in game. I probably missed a couple, but whatever. And then, you know, there's the art. Again, you can see the sky because of how I'm showing you this house. We're gonna go to the bathroom real quick. And this bathroom is a tight squeeze. I do think it's functional. I haven't tested it. I literally should because I just have the girl there. I'm probably gonna do it in a second. But because of how I place the sink, I'm pretty sure it should be, and I've played in like tiny houses with a similar spacing, and I'm pretty sure it works. And then the cute thing I did was this is actually part of a playset, which I knew we had in games, so I searched it out immediately. It's called like the Dr. Boo Boo Bear, whatever playset. So there's actually a bear that's attached to that I hid in the sink just so that way it's non-functional, but it's like Faria's there. But then yeah, there's your sink, there's the mirror. I try to get the towels like pretty close, you know, I even got the toilet paper there. There's the vent, there's the hanging plant, how Johnny is. All sim showers are built the same way to make it easier for animation, wherein you step in from the side and then you're in the shower. Like there's none that are set up the way it is in the game. So you're just gonna have to make your peace with that and be all right with it. But I did get the shower caddy in here. I think I did pretty good. This is like the starting area where I was at. Then we're gonna go into the kitchen. Kitchen. I struggle a little bit with Bev. This is a couple things. This is the open cabinet system that you get for the Snowy Escape. Put with some debug quote unquote juice and nectar because there is no alcohol in the Sims. It's juice and nectar bottles, some different glasses, and then these tiny little bottles that kind of remind me of air plurt bottles. And then like a wine thing to kind of give it this illusion. Again, no circular trash cans, but there's Cam. Here's the able to table in here. I think I did pretty good, all things considered. Um, you can't see it, but there is a plant up there because there's supposed to be, but I couldn't make it lower, so this is the best we got. Make your peace with it or don't. Um, this is Ronaldini. This is where he is. I tried to do a door. It was a lot, and I just couldn't make it work. Dishy. Another plant, a coffee cup. There's Kopi. Here we go. I had to do some shrinkification on both the. That's crazy. Nothing happened. Um, but this is kind of like the best I got. There is no toaster in game for appliances, so I did the toaster clock that I think is from Comfy Gamer. If it's not Comfy Gamer, I'm pretty sure it's Pop Pastel. It's one of those kits. Um, and then there is no air fryer in the game except with CC, which I have seen some CC creators make. Kudos to them. I didn't do that. I didn't want to use CC for the build. I typically in general don't like CC for builds. Because it's just like, I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't know. It's just something I don't like. Another thing I don't like is when people put like actual words in their CC. So like it will just like be English. I only like it when it's Simlish. But whatever, that's just that. So that is actually from Cool Kitchen Stuff, I do believe. That is the ice cream maker, and it has a very similar shape. Here is our smart fridge. And there's a plant on top of it, but the plant is plain. So what I did instead was took the Yeti, um, again, I think that's Comfy Gamer stuff. That Yeti plant and put it up there is kind of like a little Freddy the Yeti bit. I thought that was cute. Um, there's our cabinets. There's Cabrizio. It's clipping, but you'll live. Cookbooks, salt and pepper shakers. There is no oven mitt. I looked all in debug. If there is one, don't tell me. Because I know there probably is one. There's our knives, and then smoke alarm. There's Arma. Then we're gonna come in here, and this is small. You see it's very cramped, but I'm pretty sure this is all functional. There we have the Hanks, our Winder. Up in there is where Titus would be, sink, and then there is, wow, Washford and Drysdale. I had to make sure I had them stacked in the right order. Color match near perfection. I do think so myself. And then we have Hooven here. Just some clutter boxes. Nothing too spectacular in here. Just kind of made it full. I couldn't find a bobby pin in debug, although like I'm like worried now. Oh, also, there is no cat cuckoo clock in The Sims 4. I really thought they would have that. That seems like a really, if they do have it and it's in a pack I don't have, my loss, like I don't have For Rent, I don't have Love Struck, I don't have either of those because they're the two like game breaking quote unquote packs. And I am a simmer who does, I do it all. I like to build. Obviously I built this isn't a shell. I made this with my own two hands. I also like to play in cast, and I also like to do gameplay. So for me, if 1/3 of my gameplay is disrupted by whatever and I have to download mods to keep fixing it, it's a pain in the neck. There are some things that are quick fixes. I'm debating Love Struck because of it, because the quick fix would be to download a mod. Like I have the no fame decay for the Get Famous mod that I've had since I bought the pack. I immediately was like, I'm not dealing with this. So I have that, but I do think there is one for no relationship decay because that is a thing with Love Struck. But in general, For Rent makes me mad. So I don't know. My computer is, bless her heart, she couldn't handle For Rent. So if you have For Rent and would like to put an actual water heater in, feel free. But all this to say is I thought there was a cat-shaped cuckoo clock. I thought it would come in through cats and dogs or something like that. I really did, or maybe even like one of the witchy packs, I don't know. But there's not, so I had to do the werewolf cuckoo clock, which is like double funny for Timmy. So use your imagination. I know you have it. Yeah, you probably got some imagination if you are even stuck with this. Um, but yes, so we're gonna cut through here. In the table that had a runner I didn't like, so I just I forgoth, whatever the whatever the tense of that word would be. Forgoth the runner. But I do have our rug, our little chair and table, the sconces, like how they are. A little sneak peek over there. Candelabra, and this record player is from Get Famous, and this table is as well. It's either Get Famous or Bowling Night. Both have like that like retro luxe vibe, so I could be wrong. But it's full size, like it takes up like 3 tiles, so I shrinked it down to put it on top of here. It looks bad, but whatever. Okay. Um, Carrying on, we got the back door. Here we have Lux where they are in the room, and then we have Prissy. So the other thing that I forgot to mention is that bar is not functional over there. However, this globe, which you can get in Vintage Glamour, is a functional bar. It acts as a functional bar. So this is the bar, but this is Gaia. Um, the window with the plants on it. I can see the jazz paintings from outside my window. Um, all set up right there, and then here is the piano. You can play the piano. And I was able to find a magnifying glass. There is one in Debug, comes with kids' room stuff. The puppets that the kids play with in the puppet theater, one of the like props the puppets can have is a magnifying glass. So I was able to find one, so that was pretty cool. So I put that up there on that shelf, the pegboard shelf from Comfy Gamer Stuff. There it comes up again. In here is my best approximation of the fireplace. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's not functional either. It's literally not even a fireplace. It's just like a bunch of wood put in this little cutout thing. But if you like to make a fireplace, you can. I'm not your boss, but it's whatever. But that's the best I could kind of come up with. Um, Over here is the plant, another vent, just like whatever. There's the other vent that's right there. I tried to make sure I got every vent. I might have missed a couple. Sorry if I did. The Hero Jaime poster, and then we have, you know, the Connie telly, the console itself, the actual console TV, um more window, and then we come over here, and this is, so there is a pirate ship in game, however it is a playground, and it shrinking it down to its smallest size didn't work. So instead, a couple things. One, to signify, to get Jocks on here, Jocksboro, um those two bottles over here on your right are from Island Living. They're message in a bottles that have the word pirate tagged on them. So I used those, as well as this pirate prop ship's wheel. And then finally, the name of that plant is Ship in a Bottle. So I used that. That's where your stamp collection would go. That's the ship you get from art. Again, I tried to match. I used basically these curtains or the other curtains throughout this whole house. Here's the kitchen table. There's your magazine stack, your TV remote, which is a debug item, your coffee cup, because I couldn't make an actual coffee ring. I swore there was one. I guess I'm lying. And then okay, so if you were to play this game with the Bust the Dust kit, okay, and you left the Bust the Dust on and you didn't dust, you could get a dust bunny. I tried to look in debug. I really did. I was like looking, I like set it to only dust the bust. I was looking through everything I could to try to find the dust bunny to just put it there. But I couldn't, and when I would place the piles of dust, when I would go into live mode, they would disappear. So, um, it just wasn't working. But if you were to play and you would just like not dust your house for like a day, you would get it. You would have access to Dolly. But I tried to put her in, but I couldn't do it. But once you have one, they can be kind of moved around. So once one spawns in, you can move it by Koa. And then yeah, these are base game. Actually, this furniture set is base game. It's like refurbished mahogany or something like that is the name of it. Um, this is the time capsule. I don't know why I said it like that. This is the time capsule you get for digging in the game. Um, I just put that in there. Obviously, it's not even close in shape or size. The time capsule in Date Everything is more look like a bank, like what you put your money in at the bank. Um, and there is no like debug blanket, but there is this blanket rack, and I can't remember what pack it's from. I really can't, but it's there. Okay, it's there. Um, but that's supposed to be Mateo because I couldn't find one to like clutter up the chairs. But that's Mateo. He's right there. Best approximation of that lamp I could find, and then more of this, and then Arma, and then we're back in the front. Now, here's the deal. This was basically just empty space to get the walls right. So I was like, oh, I should put Doug in here. So if you come inside the wall, Doug is here. Um, so I put Doug in here with 4 pictures of the tragic clown, which if you stare at several times in a row, the clown will spawn in. But yeah, here's Doug. If you're missing Doug, he's in this empty void space. It's okay. He loves it there. It's cute little. I also try to get this because it's like kind of cute to how Connie is. I got some like games clutter. I got some CD clutter. Whatever. If I okay. All right. So now we are upstairs. This is when you first walk up. There is the keys. That's supposed to be Keith, and then that phone is supposed to be Phoenicia. We're just gonna start in our bedroom. Here's our bedroom. Yippee! I got Teddy. There's Betty. Um, the rug, which I call Rugatha in my head. There's Mikey, Lux. I could not get not get Benoit in here. Just got to make your peace of that. I don't have wicked whims. I cheat a little bit for these closets. These are just the closet you get from Get Together, I believe it is. It's just a regular old closet. It's literally the same. But I did that because I didn't feel like building out another closet to be all shelves to put that same box in there. This is fine and it's functional. Then we come over here where Damon is. I got that's an actual journal you can write in. There's a picture frame, and then look, it's the actual date Viators. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Um, couldn't find again a cat clock, so that's what we have right there. Um, again, that's not Bruno jars, but this is my best approximation. There's the mirror, vent, more art, whatever. And then we come in here, and then here is Bathsheba with Rebel right there. I never knew the rubber ducky eyes looked like that. That caught me for a second. Here we are in this with the lights that are supposed to mimic. That is the same mirror from Seasons, just kind of like placed over top of each other, create this illusion because there's no mirror long enough. Some clutter, your toilet. That took a million years and it's still not right, but whatever. Um, sink, and then over here is Barry. I got some skincare and actual makeup clutter. Um, there is Barry. It's like this weird like empty space, I know, but this is how again it's not one to one because this is how things have to look in The Sims for it to make sense and for the house to not bend time and space. Whatever. Here we go. Ooh, don't worry about it. Yes, the windows look weird. Ignore it. You don't have an imagination. Um, there is no tall fan, so there's Fantina. There's because I dropped in during the door, so this door is gone, but trust me, it's there. There's your Believe in Your Shelf. There's Dunk. There is Stepford. Trying to make a trophy shelf with Shelly. I don't know. There's no clocks for Timmy here, so there's Timmy. Here's Kristoff. This is actually a horse ball from my little horse ranch or whatever the pack's called. That's the only thing that was a similar size. Because when I took actual balls, like the dog balls and stuff like that, like other stuff, it when it sized up, it just didn't look right. So this is that around that same size, and then there you go again. Other plant, there's more Dunk, just put that in there as clutter. There's Telly. There's your yoga mat. Again, there's no plain one, made me so mad. And then here is another closet. Again, this is just like one from a Get Together just to create a closet because I didn't feel like making that. So I just did this. I hope you'll forgive me if you use this, but you'll live out here. We're gonna take this corner, and then if you see all the cuts, just know that was me realizing something was wrong and I had to go and fix it real quick because this is also like my first walkthrough. There's the breaker box. Oh my god, it's also Winifred. Shut up. You're fine. There's toolbox. There's Tony right there. It looks bad. That's on purpose. And then here it is, the piece de resistance, the attic. Okay, so there is no safe. That's a lie. There is a safe, but it's a huge 4 tile wide door that you get from Get Famous. If you go to the Bailey Moon house, they have like a spot for all their money. It sucks. I'm not doing that. So that is an art storage locker, which goes along because art's in this room too. Is an art storage locker. So I just kind of put Monique there just for whatever. There's a light switch. I'm very proud of that. I could have sworn there was more board game clutter, but I just couldn't find it. I was pretty sure there was like board games stacked. But I watch a lot of Sims building. I watch Little Simsy. I used to hate her. Now I don't. So I don't know. Make your peace with that. Um, I watch Little Simsy now, and I watch Karen and Connie. Um, and Plumbella, obviously Queen. So I watched them, and I could have sworn there's like board game clutter, and I just couldn't find it, and I couldn't remember if I was like imagining it or what, or if I was thinking of like unpacking or something. I don't know. So this is what we got. So I have like a chess. That's board game esque right there. Um, make your peace with it. And then over here, this is the actual holiday boxes. So if you have seasons, you can use these to actually decorate your house. So these are functional. It's just the same thing, and I just kind of changed the color, but that's holly. There's art, there's the blank canvases. Here's Lady Memoria, just a random bunch of stuff. And then here's Hector. I sized it down a little bit. This is supposed to be like a roof piece. I just sized it down a little bit. And there it is. And that is the Day Everything house. Um, this took a lot of time. I'll show you the floor plan now. You're going to see some of these rooms have like these empty spaces. If you do play in this, feel free to do whatever you want. You don't have to keep it the same. You can take this and totally trash it. You can change stuff. Like if you have, like I said, if you have the actual water heater, you can put that there. I'm going to put this on the gallery. I think I already did. Okay, so now it is on the gallery. Date Everything House. Again, my username is Katanye. Feel free to download. I did give it the romantic aura and convivial because of how many people will be there. I do have some other plans for what I want to do. Not in this house. So the Sims limit for a house is 8. What I was thinking is making each room its own house, if that makes sense. So everyone who is in the office, for example, they would all be living in a house together. And I would try to make their rooms as best their personality they can. There'd like some people, obviously, who appear multiple places are gonna have to like pick a spot and stay in a spot. And like the like concepts and such will have like their own house. I've thought about that. It is something I'm interested in. I just don't know. I love that you can see Vaughn from up here. But yeah, this is just a quick like little flyover. You can kind of see how I did some of the layout. Got this bump out here. I got the bushes in roughly the same spot that they are in the game. That's the best welcome mat I have. I did platforms to create these windows on these bump outs right here. Um, that plush rug is the best I could do for the circle. Again, this geometric rug. And yeah, up here, I love that I can find the date viators. But yeah, this is it. This is the house. I love this game. This is just something that I had in my head. Typically, I make every house I enter in The Sims 4. Um, I assume that's perfectly healthy and nothing I need to look into at all, so I'm going to continue to do so. But I do, anytime I go on vacation, I make the house in The Sims 4. When I come back, if I go to someone's house for the first time, I typically make it in The Sims 4. Um, it, and again, this is normal behavior. It makes me, it doesn't, it's all because it makes me feel better. I love going to people's houses for this exact thing. I went to one of my aunt's houses once, and she had like the craziest like stair setup, and I got so excited to make it The Sims. It literally like I literally came home. I was like, I'm so excited. Um, so this is something I do, and I've spent a lot of time in that house, and so when I'm in the house like that, I just want to build it. Um, I've seen this house more than my own house. Making this house, I realized like we're not as broke. Like I don't know how much this house sold for. In The Sims, this is a $102,000 house, which for where I live, that's like $2. Most houses where I live are 200,000 to 300,000. Because I live in Florida, and the town I live in is mainly, the elderly, so they are expected to have money, so all the houses are super high priced. Um, but I was like very shocked at how much I was like building it. I was like, we're supposed to be poor. It's like the Simpsons bit. But yeah, I just had to do this, and sometimes when I get the itch, I have to make stuff. So thank you for watching if you watched. Thank you for downloading if you downloaded it. Thank you for using if you used it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do want to see me make like the people, I would probably go in the Datadex order, starting with Skylar. Um, I would be interested in doing that. So if that's something you want, I mean, I can record it. I can show you the houses I make for them to live in. Um, Whatever. So I never know if I'm annoying. So tell me if you would like more. That's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and end this video and start editing it. Bye.